After all was said and done, the volunteer collective, along with the Tono siblings and their plus one, namely Hijiri, arrived at Kazumi Preschool.
皆さん、こんにちは。
Looks good Discord art. What did you put in Discord art? Oh, it's Maya. Speaking of, when are you well, no, I asked this before as a joke. Never mind.
お兄ちゃんたち、また来ましたよ。
The toddlers instantly rushed over to us.
こんにちは。はじめまして。おいっす。おら、キッカス。
Happy Maya next. Yeah, but like, what about Hello Lady and Altori? You know? Studying off strong Hijiri. Well, not that I hated her approach.
このお姉ちゃん面白い。
I had stock from Wawa coming in next month. What do you mean? It is like 500. What do you mean by that? Everyone had had friendly smiles, and it immediately put me at ease.
では皆さん、しばらくは子供たちと遊んであげてください。
Did you get your job at Wawa back, or like you mean actual stock? Okay, yeah. When I started, I was automatically put in for employee stock. Right. It's kind of like what Amazon does, where they pay their employees just stock, but it's not only stock.
師匠はマジックの準備を。
I don't have anything prepared. Let me see.
ねえね
A little girl tugged at my pants leg. What is it? Oh,
え。やっぱり優しくてかっこいいお兄ちゃんだ。
she's back again. Oh, it's you, Hina.
運命を感じるね。
Hina, you sure are a precocious child. I smiled as I patted her head.
ほう、ゆう。早速仲良くやってるな。
Specifically, Hina.
結構。
So yeah, I'll gift you Happy Maya first thing. I also have taxes, so it might be sooner IDK. Yes, I might get a little back from taxes. Oh, right, your tax return. Even though you shouldn't be paying any taxes because you don't make any money. Shinji was delighted to be surrounded by the children. We gave them quick hugs, one after another. You can't deal with adult women, but you're fine with kids.
おう、大人と違ってこの子たちは純粋だからな。
Yep.
ちなみに、俺の夢はホフさんなんだぜ。
It was from when I had a job. Yeah, but like, that was last year. Why are you still waiting on your tax return a year later? Wow. I hadn't known that. He likely had a knack for it though.
いいよな。子供は可愛くて。
I usually wait like a few months after filing taxes to get my tax return back. When I say filing, I mean my dad's accountant does it for me. What?
養女最高!
Shinji? Shut up! Shinji, don't phrase it like that. That was just asking for problems. I only get like 25 every following week from my mom. Yeah.
はいはい、いい子だね。
Yeah, but like but like that $25 every week for like 52 weeks wouldn't even cover the lowest tax bracket. All right? Well, at least on Australia. I don't know what it's like in America.
自分ワクワクしてきたっすよ。
Because in Australia, you only start getting taxed at like 20k a year.
みんな、お水はちゃんと飲んでくださいね。
It's from my mom. I don't get taxed. Yeah, even that. There's also that system too, where gifts don't really count as tax. Same thing with charity. It's why people pay. It's why billionaires spend a lot of money in charity, because it's the best way to write off taxes. Never mind. I didn't say anything. Everyone had a fun time with the children. Well, it was a sensation. I was excited, but maybe not the same way as Hijiri. I got terminated during the summer of the last year, I think. Yeah. So... yeah. So this is the text from last time. From that time, yeah. It was almost unreal. Something that had been sealed away in the depths of my heart was slowly pouring out.
お兄ちゃん、鹿島先輩がそろそろ始めてって。
Ritsu said while carrying a young boy in her arm, while I had Hina on my shoulders. Oh, okay. Okay, oh, right. Okay, Hina. Do you want to lend me a hand? I gently set the girl to her feet and crouched down. I matched Hina's eye level.
何をするの、お兄ちゃん。
Also, me and my mom are thinking about SSI disability. I mean, look, all I'm gonna say is, why haven't you been getting paid by the government for your autism? Where's your disability pay? IDK. Does Pennsylvania support it? I've got something amazing to show everyone. At the time, I said that all too naturally. I have 53 playing cards here. Does that means he has one Joker in the deck? They used to pay my mom. Right. But just because you're 18, just because you turned 18 doesn't mean you still doesn't mean you aren't still autistic. What do you mean? I showed the children a bundle of cards. I had just finished shuffling. Ina's still adorable. You know, could you pick a card? It can be any card you'd like.
はーい、引きました。
Good job. Next, please show everyone your card, but make sure I can't see it.
これです。
Hina pointed her card toward the audience. The truth is, I'm a magician. So I knew there was something special about the card you chose. Your card is... I turned over the whiteboard. I turned over the whiteboard in the room. It had the Knight of Hearts written on it.
当たってる。すごい。本当に魔法使いだ。
And this is the sense of wonder I was talking about in the magic system videos, about why magic systems don't feel magical. Because we aren't kids. Which one is Hina? Hina's the one on the left. You saw her last time. You saw her last stream too, in the fucking in the restaurant TBCG with her mom. It was a big hit with the kids. This magic was rudimentary as it got, but it practically made their eyes sparkle.
やっぱり師匠の手さばきはすごいです。
The pink-haired one doesn't have a name.
お兄ちゃんは簡単って言うけど、どうやってるのか全然わかんない。
We only care about Hina because she's the only one who goes to his restaurant. The one he works at, not the one he owns. He doesn't own a restaurant. If he did, it would have been better for his income.
と 野先輩、もっとやってほしいっす。
He'd at least have a lot more money so that he wouldn't have to worry about the scholarship program getting abolished. The pink-haired one is cuter? No. My friends cheered me on from the sidelines. As simple as it was, it made me super happy. Hina, take a look in my pocket, please.
えっと
Why no? Because Hina has a voice.
ハートの9のカード、ここにもある。
Hina jumped up and down with the duplicate card in her hands.
なんで
Cuter voice. There you go. Little girl A. I guess she's is the pink one. Pink head one. Just based on the art. Okay. Based on the art. Rabbit hairpin. I rest my case.
カードが増えてる。お兄ちゃん、すごいすごいすごい。
Hina clung to my leg and kept shouting wow back to back. The voice is cuter though. Exactly. Don't tell me you meant little girl A, alright? Because Hina's voice is cuter. Alright, next I'll teach all of you a magic trick you can do on your own. Hina's? Yeah, see? With this, all of you will officially be magicians from here on out.
やったー。
I'm just not gonna read what you just said out loud because I don't fucking understand what you said.
教えて教えて。ひなちゃんもお兄ちゃん教えて。
But I like pink hair. Okay, and I like white hair. That doesn't mean I'm gonna choose. Doesn't mean I'm gonna choose little girl A because she has a lighter shade of hair over Hina, closer to white. The children quickly and loudly surrounded me from all sides. I carefully explained how to perform the magic trick. Oh, isn't that great?
遠野くん楽しそうですね。
ゆう、お前も青春を楽しんでるな。
Don't ruin this moment, Shinji.
お兄ちゃんすごいね。やっぱり思った通りでした。師匠の手品は絶対受けると思ってたんです。鹿島さん、いつもありがとうございます。
Goblin stuffed toy in the background. I think it's like a kappa or something. I don't know. What the fuck is that?
子供たちみんな風見学園の皆さんがいらっしゃるのを楽しみにしてるんですよ。マジっすか。すごいじゃないっすか皆さん。
それをぜひ新聞社の記者さんにも話してもらえれば。
はい、しっかり話しておきますね。それにしても今日はいつにも増してすごいですね。あの子たちがここまで楽しそうにしてるの珍しいんですよ。特にあの子ひなちゃんはなかなか他の人には懐かないのに。
ゆうはすげえからな。
私の自慢のお師匠さんですから。
Hey, Kashima, I'm not going to make you my apprentice.
あらら、聞こえちゃってましたか。
The room is not that big. What do you mean?
でもあんなに楽しそうな遠野くん初めて見たかも。
だな。俺も久しぶりに見たよ。
Okay, I lied. The room is pretty big. But like, you wouldn't be on the other side of the room from the others.
ゆうが手伝ってくれたらボランティア部もなんとかなりそうな気がしてくるな。
You like kids? You like kids. Shinji maybe more so. Yeah.
ですね。私やっぱり遠野くんにボランティア部に入ってほしいです。遠野くんと一緒に頑張りたい。
委員長。
なんて、そんな先のことを今考えてもしょうがないですよね。部を残すことができないと、その場所もなくなってしまうんですから。神楽坂くん、私たちも負けてられませんよ。
だな。ユウに負けないくらい、俺たちも楽しませてやろうぜ。
Hey, Kashima, could you help me with something?
わかりました。すぐ行きますね。
I had a lot of fun spending time with the kids for a change. And it felt like I triggered something that had long since faded from my mind. But it didn't, I don't quite know what it was. Or did I realize the change that was beginning to stir inside of me? What do you mean by that?
お兄ちゃん、生地ってこれかな。
Thanks for the hydrate. Yeah. And the stretch. I'd bought and read the local newspaper. It was supposed to have our article in it. I looked it over from top to bottom and front to back with a fine-tooth comb. There was a brief article about the preschool, but nothing about what we had done. It didn't mention us at all. Figures.
急に取材日変更だなんて。
From what Kachima said, they apparently uncovered a story about corruption involving the city councillor. I know that I brought up corruption in the government last stream, but that doesn't mean that they can that they can bring it up now. That's like late game stuff, all right? That's like that's like third act of the common route stuff, you know, after everyone's figured out how to stop the scholarship thing from abolishing. Covering that took precedence.
私、納得いかないよ。
Political corruption drew more attention than a commonplace feel-good piece. Well, no shit, it makes people angry. Finding out that their government isn't trustworthy is going to anger people, and that's going to get them more clicks. It's a newspaper, but the point still stands. As such, the newspaper focused their efforts on that instead. A big scoop like that would lead to more sales and additional revenue. And that was reality. I roughly folded the newspaper and grumbled. Life really is tough. Even so, we made the kids happy. Their tiny eyes practically sparkled when we put on that shoddy magic show. You did. Maybe that was more than enough. I mean, honestly, summer drew near and each day was hotter than the last. Honestly speaking, yeah, it probably is. Because now, right, all the kids will be talking about how amazing the magic trick was by you, right, a student from Kazumi Academy, right, which will bring in more eyes through the parents and their friends, and so, and then the parents' friends will be talking, and then they'll be more incentivized to bring their kids who wouldn't be who aren't in the Kazami Academy system. Are you ending? Yes, but that's I was getting to it. The Kazami Academy system, it would incentivize those parents to want to bring their kids into, you know, it wasn't a news story, but it's word of mouth, right? There was, however, a huge mountain we had to overcome first. An event that measured our scholastic ability due to our students' final exams. Although the fate of the scholarship program was still up in the air, I couldn't afford to let my grades drop. What I Okay, here's the thing, right? What would be... Right? Okay, they're getting rid of the scholarship program. What do you think would be the biggest hit to their reputation if the top ranking student on the list, right, who should... You is constantly like in around the top, but he's not at the top, right? But it would be a big hit to their reputation if their top student couldn't go to school because they abolished the scholarship program. All right, look, that's all I'm gonna say. Look, you know, that's pretty realistic, all things considered, right? Although the fate of the scholarship program was still up in the air, I couldn't afford to let my grades drop. Have they met the headmaster? No. I don't think they have. It was the same for my little sister Ritsu, right? Even more if both Ritsu and you were at the top of their grade, right? But then, guess we can't go to school the next year because someone abolished the scholarship program because we ran out of money, quote unquote. And it definitely isn't and no one is, and it's definitely not because someone in the staff is embezzling funds, you know? We don't know about Ritsu, but okay, yeah, but here's the thing, right? Ritsu, I can guarantee Ritsu is also around the top of the rankings because obviously you can't support Ritsu financially to go to school, so they both needed the scholarship program. I felt bad for Hibiki and the others, but I temporarily set all of the club's problems aside, as you should. You aren't part of either of their clubs. In doing so, I finally devoted myself to my studies. Everyone from both active and negative understood and accepted my reasoning. I drastically cut down on my work hours to spend every day and night studying. I wouldn't take any half measures. I am for the top seed in my grade. That was the one thing I wasn't willing to compromise on. During and in between classes, I used nearly all of my time devoted to my studies. Kashima likely sensed my resolve and only spoke to me when necessary. Even Hibiki stopped coming by to poke fun and tease me. Thank God! She stopped being annoying for once in her fucking life. It felt like it had been ages since I focused on my schoolwork. Everything had been so lively since Hibiki transferred here. Now that I was fully prepared, I confronted my final exams head-on. When all was said and done, I acquired my usual top rank. Okay, no, he is at the top. So see, like I kind of forgot where he stood in the rankings, but he is top ranking, right? He is #1 in his grade. Kashima was overjoyed, like she'd done it herself, and Hibiki gave me genuine praise. Bro, the outcome had given me immense relief. But there was a chance it could have been a total waste of time. None of our problems had been resolved. We were 2 weeks away from summer break, but we hadn't successfully blocked the Academy reformation proposal. I made multiple requests to meet with the new headmaster. I was avoided every time and told I would meet them eventually. How could you not see that as a form of corruption, you know? What the fuck?
ねえ、ユウ、元気出しなさいよ。
I'm cheerful enough, really. I'm cheerful enough, really.
また強がっちゃって。今は私だけなんだし、本音言ってもいいのよ。
Big blood. It all feels crazy. I wish I knew what the new headmaster was like. I said while rocking in the seat behind her. Hibiki occasionally came to school on her bike. It was on those days when she'd lend me a ride.
会ってもくれないんだってね。
Yeah.
ねえ、
What?
お金のこと、親戚の人とかに頼んでみた？
To be honest, there's nobody I could ask.
そうなの？
You didn't know? No wonder you've been annoying shit. You don't know anything about him. Some childhood friend you are.
一人もいないの？
Not even one. I replied honestly.
でも昔確か。
Hibiki, take the next turn.
ああ、そうだった。それ。
Hibiki took an almost right-angled curve without slowing down. Watch out! Yikes! I somehow managed to shift my weight in time to not be shaken off. You're going too fast. He cut her off, then interested. I mean, like, he had a reason for it. And it's not because of what she was about to bring up.
そんなことないって。普通よ。普通。
Why did he cut her off? Because she was about to miss her turn. Her version of normal doesn't quite align with the rest of the world.
ひどいこと言うわね。ずれてるのは世間の方よ。
Don't base your thought process on that standard. Listen, alright? Unless explicitly stated that he cut her off for that reason. Never mind.
幼馴染なんだし。いいじゃん。細かいことは気にしない気にしない。
That doesn't explain anything. If anything, I worry about you more because we're childhood friends.
あ、そうだ。ねえユウ、このまま海行かない？
Huh? Wait, I have work.
なんか潮風感じたくなっちゃった。
Fucking Christ.
響き、行きまーす。
What? Hibiki? Would you stop and listen? Hibiki accelerated, pedaling as fast as she could. The passing scenery turned blurry.
ユウとサイクリングサイクリング。このまま月にだって行けそうよ。
There was no use. Hibiki's switch had been flipped. When she got like this, I had no choice but to keep her company until she was satisfied.
しっかり捕まって。もっと飛ばすわよ。
That's dangerous. And after I had controlled myself and avoided touching Hibiki's body as much as possible, too.
遠慮しないで、私の腰にギューッと両腕を回すのよ。
That would be... I was obviously hesitant to do that.
なんでできないのよ。
Aren't you forgetting that Aren't you forgetting that I'm a man?
忘れるわけないでしょ。ユウは今も昔もずっと男の子じゃない。
You should have more shame then.
あんたが横島なこと考えなきゃいいだけでしょ。清い心で幼馴染の体に触れなさい。
What am I, an ascetic monk? Yeah, ascetic monk. She was asking for too much out of an adolescent man. Don't complain to me about whatever happens. Oh yeah? I made up my mind to wrap my arms around her waist. Yeah, but that's the sound effect you make when you grope the tits. Huh? Thin. It felt like she would break if I held onto her too tight. Could people even be this thin? Men can't, unless you're at... Men can't, yeah, no, but women can.
何よ、当たり前じゃない。私女の子なんだし。そんなの見たらわかるでしょ。
I didn't make a habit out of ogling girls' bodies.
相変わらずね、ユウは。
What is that supposed to mean?
妙に礼儀正しいというか、他人行儀というか。
I fell silent at her comment. Only you and Ritsu know that I only have strangers there for me. I accidentally shared my most private thoughts.
ねえユウ、それ本気で言って。
Damn it. Faster Hibiki. See, that's him changing the subject, alright? I cut her reply short and tightened my grip around her waist. Race as fast as you can. Enough that we could reach the moon. I was desperate at this point. Ah! See? What'd I say? That's a different sound effect, though. Hibiki started to act flustered out of nowhere. But I had no intention of letting go. What's wrong? I'm just holding on to you with only the best intentions? Rest faster, my childhood friend. With this counter sexual assault? I mean, she hasn't told him to she hasn't said no. So, you know. Huh? Hibiki, what did you say? What did you just say? Sorry, Hibiki. I may have just lost my pure heart. Youth or not, I was still an adolescent. Adolescent boy, you Tono, could not resist the temptation of boobs. At that moment, the bike toppled sideways in an overly exaggerated fashion. How about now? The same thing. She hasn't said no. She hasn't said stop. Ow, Hibiki, you alright? I got away with just a scrape on my elbow and immediately rushed to Hibiki's side. Can you stand? I didn't rub them. I just touched them a little. Or so I thought. What do you mean, touched them a little? You had both full coverage of both hands on both of them. Yeah, maybe writing together wasn't the best idea. Wait, what? That's the idea you came up with?
Hibiki-chan? Yu-kun? 大丈夫?
See? It's not sexual assault. She was kinda into it. A woman called out to us. A familiar voice. A voice I was sick of hearing. Hibiki and I, mostly on reflex, looked at the owner of the voice.
二人とも、もう自転車でふざけるような年でもないでしょ?
She approached us with a gentle smile.
ユウの親戚のなごみお姉ちゃん。お久しぶりです。
Hibiki gave my aunt Nagomi an energetic greeting. Long time no talk. I, on the other hand, spoke to her flatly in an attempt to keep my emotions in check. But it was too much. I trembled a little. I couldn't help but be on guard.
あら、ゆうくん。どうしたのそんな顔して。あなたが私に会いたがってるって聞いたから、こうして会いに来たのよ。
Huh? I don't have a reason to get in touch with you, Nagomi.
風見学園の新しい学園長に会いたいんでしょ？
もしかして。
そう。私が2学期から就任するのよ。
I don't like where this is going.
風見学園の新しい学園長は、ゆうくんの叔母である私、三崎なごみなのよ。
The woman before me smiled as her hair flowed in the sea breeze. The resemblance was striking. I couldn't help but remember. I can't believe you're the new headmaster. To think we would meet again here in this form. be honest, this is bad.
ねえ、ゆうくん。私もあなたに話があるのよ。
Nogomi, don't bring this up in front of Hibiki.
いえ、悪いけど、私も時間がないのよ。それはゆうくん、今のあなたも同じでしょ？
I went quiet. Keeping up with this woman in conversation was terrifying. I was just asking to be swindled.
ユウ、ちょっと、どうしたの？
I'd been forcefully dragged into the past. I was being swallowed up by memories and emotions. This woman had once been a magician to me.
端的に言うわね。ゆうくん、そろそろ決心してくれない？美咲家の人間になることを。この家もずいぶん久しぶりね。
That's where he learns his tricks. Yeah, that's how he became a magician. Magician.
りっちゃんは？
Ah. Ritsu was studying at the library today. Didn't you pick this time of day because you knew that? Because you know that?
さすが我が弟子。ゆうくんにはお見通しなのね。
I contacted my workplace to let them know I would be a little late and brought her to my place. What's the best thing about anime/anime games? The art, the characters. I don't know what you mean. There was no way we could have this conversation by the side of the road. Everything this person was doing was calculated. But...
ねえ、ユウ、私、お茶入れようか。
I hadn't factored in Hibiki tagging along, however. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Make yourself at home. Feel free to sit wherever you'd like.
わかった。
She wasn't her usual peppy self. The mere mention of me joining the Misaki family must have had her on edge. The only cold drink I have is barley tea. Is that okay?
うん。
Have you tried an AI anime game? I've tried an AI eroge where they use AI to make the characters, but not an AI anime game.
悪いわね。
Not at all.
ゆうくん、ゆっくりとお話ししましょうね。
I don't trust you. Especially if you're becoming the new headmaster for the next term. She flashed me with a complacent smile. Brutal. I sighed as I poured barley tea into 3 glasses. Here, Hibiki. I plucked a glass in front of her. Plunked a glass in front of her.
ありがとう。
Then another silently in front of my aunt.
あら、私にはあんまり愛想がないのね。
I wonder why. You think so? I'd like to think I've treated you the same as I always did. I took a seat next to Hibiki to sit across from my aunt. Okay, that's probably not... I mean, I get it, right? But psychologically, probably isn't a good idea to do that.
嘘よ。ゆうくん、昔は私にとっても懐いてくれてたじゃない。親戚の中では、私がゆうくんと年も一番近かったし。りっちゃんと一緒に、なごみお姉ちゃんって私に甘えて。
I assume you didn't come here to reminisce on old times, right, Headmaster? I cut her tangent short. I didn't want to hear any more of this. Get to the point.
あら怖い。 そんな態度じゃ響ちゃんに嫌われちゃうわよ。ねえ響ちゃん。
私はユウのこと全然嫌いじゃないですけど。
あなたがせっかくユウくんのために作った部に入らない薄情な子なのに。
それとこれとは話が別です。
And you, who knows this information, should also know why he did that.
ユウにも事情があるのわかりますから。
Yeah, that's why she stopped being so adamant about him joining the club.
ごめんね、意地っ張りな甥っ子で。
I'm not your nephew. I unintentionally raised my voice. I cut ties with all my relatives a long time ago. It's about time for you to stop pretending we're family, Headmaster.
ユウ？どうしたのよ、急にそんな怖い言い方。それに縁を切ったってどういうこと？
いいのよ、響ちゃん。この子頭はいいのに、時々感情的になるのよ。癖は直しなさいって言ってるでしょ。
Nagomi sounded like she was scolding a little kid. Her tone of voice and the look she gave me were designed to provoke me. Mind your own business. I needed to calm down. I couldn't let her get a rise out of me. I was desperately trying to tell myself that.
美咲家の人間になれば楽な生活が送れると分かっているのに。楽しい青春を謳歌できるのに。それを一時の感情で自分から捨てるなんて愚かだわ。きっと姉さんに似たのね。
Why you? I instantly blew my lid. This was how she operated. Nagomi paralyzed her opponent by provoking an emotional response.
ユウ、ダメ！お願い、ユウ、座って！
I knew I needed to. I told myself countless times to keep a level head, but I couldn't control myself. Hibiki's head pressed firmly against my chest.
ユウ、大丈夫だから。私がそばにいるから。
Hibiki's small, dainty hand. I could feel her trembling.
ユウ、落ち着こう。ね。
Hibiki's gentle voice helped me ground me and soothe my anger. I let out a breath as Hibiki urged me to sit. Sorry, Hibiki. Thank you.
どうやらまだ美咲家の人間になるつもりはないようね。
I'm Utono. I said my own name to encourage myself. I am Ritsu's brother. I always have been, and always will be. That is never going to change. How could she possibly think I'd want to rely on that woman's money? I'd live my life as Utono, as my stepfather's son.
せっかくの勝ち組人生を楽しい青春を棒に振るの？
I'll live my life my own way. I decide what makes me happy. The contempt of youth is nothing more than a luxury. It has no bearing on it. I argued, pointing a harsh glare at my aunt. What did she mean, successful life? What was this about youth? I was doing the best I could with what I had. What was wrong with that?
無理してわざわざ難しい道を歩む。そういうこと？
That's your opinion. I hate to break it to you, but I'm pushing forward and carving my own path to achieve happiness. Isn't that right, Hibiki?
そうよ。そうなのよ。
I don't know why you're trying to seek validation from Hibiki. When she's the one so adamant in trying to get you to enjoy your youth. There you have it. Ritsu and I will be fine on our own. But I need your help. I stated in no uncertain terms.
そう。全く平行線ね。わかったわ。
My aunt took a white envelope out of a brand name bag and quietly set it on the table, presenting it to me.
なら、せめてこれを。
What is this?
小切手が入ってるわ。当面の生活費の足しになさい。
Money, yeah.
りっちゃんと二人、学生だけの暮らしですもの。生活、楽じゃないんでしょ？
She knew everything. Nagomi never would have approached me otherwise. We're fine. We'll get by on our own. Ritsu and I had worked hard to get where we were. What's more, I was stubborn. I can't accept this. I directed all of my animosity at my aunt, at the master who taught me magic when I was young, the person I had believed to be a magician, and that woman's sister.
困ったわね。一応私はゆうくんとりっちゃんの後見人なのよ。何にも支援してませんじゃ、世間体が悪いわ。
She held up both of her arms in an exaggerated way. I didn't realize someone as cold and calculating as you cared about what people thought. I replied sarcastically.
教育者ですもの。
You're an educator? I'm impressed you could say that. I stared closely as I said that, but I couldn't see it. No matter where I looked, her eyes, eyebrows, or even her lips, I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't read her thoughts. No matter how much time passed, this woman's heart was the only one that remained a deep void of darkness. She was a witch.
これだけ頼んでも受け取ってはくれないのね。
Yes, that's exactly right. Any more of this would be a waste of time.
そうみたいね。しょうがないわ。勝負で決めましょう。
え、勝負って？
I figured it would come to this. I bet that had to be her plan from the start.
持ってるんでしょ？カード。
Wait, what? That had been her plan from the start.
無敵のポーカー。やってみなさい。
Of all things, she wanted to have a poker match?
ゆうくんがどれくらい成長したか、師匠の私が見定めてあげるわ。
ゆう、どうするの？
I had learned magic from my aunt a long time ago. I had acquired several new techniques since then. What's more, this was a showdown with my own personal deck of cards. It would all be in my favor. Fine. I accept your challenge. If I win, please take the envelope with you and go home. Also, I want you to retract the Cosmi Academy reformation proposal. There was no way I would lose. I mean, this should be my chance. Nagomi, if you win...
全然ダメね。交渉が雑すぎるわ。そんなやり方じゃ誰も相手にしてくれないわね。それにもう一つ、ゆうくんは失敗してるわ。
え？
勝負の心構えからして間違ってるのよ。自分が勝った時のことをもしなんて言ってる時点で、あなたは私に気遅れしてる。どう？違う？
She was trying to provoke me. Keep you cool. Don't let your head, don't let her lead you by the nose.
でもいいわ。特別よ。もしゆうくんが勝つことができたら考えてあげる。その代わり、私が勝ったら封筒は受け取ってもらうわ。あなたの意思に関わらず。ね。
I understand. I accept the terms of the game. I'll be the one to win either way.
ちょっと、そんな喧嘩越しで。
You're not helping Hibiki.
いつものユウらしくないよ。
ごめんね、響ちゃん。これは身内の問題なの。黙って見てて。
はい。
それに、この子にはより厳しい指導が必要みたいだわ。
Did she say guidance? See, there's a reason why the stakes aren't if he loses, when he loses, that he's going to join the Nagomi family, Misaka family, because he's going to lose, so he's going to have to take the envelope anyway. I don't have a single solitary thing left to learn from you. I wanted her to see that I wasn't the same person as I was back then. My emotions flared, triggering a faint warning sound to go off in the back of my head. Wasn't I playing right into this woman's hands? Wasn't I letting her provoke me? No, this game was my specialty. There was no need. There was no way I would lose. More importantly, this was my chance to prove myself. I took my favorite cards out of my bag. Please inspect them. I held out my deck before moving on to the next step. However,
いいわ、シャッフルしなさい。
they're another person's cards. You aren't going to check them? And she was going to let me shuffle them? Was she telling me I could play whatever tricks I wanted?
ええ、そんな必要全くないもの。
She was underestimating me. No matter what I tried, no matter what means I used, she would win. That was what this woman was saying.
私は最後に一回だけ切らせてくれればいいわ。カットが終わってデッキから手を離したら、デッキには触れない。
Graciously accept those advantageous conditions.
そうそう。それでいいわ。かっこつけて負けるより、泥臭くても価値を拾いに行きなさい。
I know you're smart, but like, do you not understand that she's giving you a false sense of security?
私が教えたこと、守ってくれて嬉しいわ。
I put smart in quotations if you didn't know. The end of her lips curved into a smile. It gave me chills. It gave me chills. When I was young, after I saw that smile. No, that doesn't matter now. The match will be one round. Yeah, he's book smart, he's not street smart. I calmed my nerves and got into position. I would devote all my attention to winning this match.
ええ、何度も無駄なことをやりたくないわ。
No, I don't think you understand. That's exactly what she's That's exactly what she wants.
100回やっても結果は同じ。私が100回勝つに決まってるもの。
The match had already begun. The second I laid hands on these cards, no, from the moment this woman appeared before us, your taunts will not work on me. I repressed my emotions and eliminated their presence. I will be the victor. From my expression, my fingertips, my gestures, all of it, I became a machine designed to follow logic and obtain certain victory. There's nothing logical about what you're doing, bro. It's all fucking emotion based. It's all right. Just watch me.
頑張って。
I was grinning like crazy, the same as ever. Is this all right? For her to lay everything out. There. Did this mean she was confident she would win?
ずいぶんと念入りね。
Anyone would be. Logically, you would take the money because you're struggling. Yeah, but the problem is, he's not struggling because he's poor. He's struggling because he won't be able to pay the tuition next term. Because of a certain someone who he's staring right in the... whose face he's staring right at.
そうかしら。7回のシャッフルを3セット。それがいつものゆうくんのやり方。リズムが狂ってるんじゃない？
She was reading me. Seeing straight through me. How does he afford this house, but? See, that's a good question. You know? But he never had problems affording the house. You know? That's the thing.
ほら、またカードが引っかかったわ。シャッフルの基礎、もう一度教えてあげましょうか？
Telling you, that's unnecessary. And she's their guardian. Which means that she should also be paying for their tuition. You know? As a guardian should be doing. So you think a lot of the money would come from her. Yeah, I guess.
そう、いいわ。思う存分やりなさい。後悔のないように。ね。
You are the one who will regret it.
楽しみだわ。
Technically, he's not a part of her family. Well, yeah, that's why she referred to herself as his guardian. I think. Well, it was some way to take away this woman's confidence. Nothing came to mind. I didn't know how to wipe that smug smile off her face. I had no means in my repertoire. Because you not want to be a part of her family? Oh yeah, because of her sister. I'm finished. I finished shuffling the cards without any particular strategy or trick in mind. There was no telling how much opposition I could put up through sheer force of will. If you would. The shuffled cards were placed at the center of the table. Cut the cards just once, correct?
はいはい。
My aunt stared straight at the cards from overhead.
じゃあ、遠慮なく。
Reached for the bundle of cards. What? Lifting only a single card off the top, then quickly putting it back in place. She kept the top card held down under her fingertips and smiled.
今のどういうこと？あれだけでいいの？
Well, yeah, I thought she would either take one off the top or take everything off one card on the bottom and then put the card on the bottom on the top of the deck.
じっと見てたけど、おかしな様子は何もなかったよね。
Well, you wouldn't know where to look. Are you messing with me? I hadn't noticed her set up any kind of trick. Even now, she was just holding down the deck with her index finger. That only meant one thing. Her current move had been pointless. Hang on, that... Okay, yeah, you're definitely gonna lose now.
ふざけてなんかいないわ。ゆうくん、あなた、私がカードの上半分と下半分を入れ替えると思ってたでしょ。私はよくそうしてたものね。
I deliberately kept quiet. I neither confirmed nor denied it.
残念だったわね。これで下半分に仕込んだ罠は無力化したわ。当たりでしょ。
I kept a blank face. It appeared my aunt had realized what I'd done.
You
don't need to worry. She hadn't left me completely powerless, though. I predicted this sort of outcome. I had other tricks up my sleeve.
やっぱりこうして欲しかった？
She was all smiles while she picked up the top half of the deck. Of course, I would have liked you to fall for my trap. I said while I kept my emotion suppressed. I didn't move a single eyebrow. The micro expressions, you know, I wouldn't let her read my mind.
そう。ならあえて罠にかかってあげましょう。
My aunt swapped the top and bottom halves of the cards, just as she had before. This time, she removed her hand from the deck. No matter how hard I kept my emotions in check, my heart pounded. No, don't be agitated. Don't let your opponent suspect a single thing.
これで私のシャッフルはおしまいよ。他にはどんな罠が仕掛けられてるのかしら。ドキドキしちゃうわ。
Absolutely insincere. Truth. Everything was all going according to plan. No, bro, it's not. The real match started now.
響ちゃん、ゆうくんと私に上から交互に5枚ずつ配って。
私が？
ええ、そうするのが公平でしょ。いいわよね、ゆうくん。
Her expression was a mix of bewilderment and anxiety. Understandably so, I doubted Hibiki imagined she would be doing anything here. I stiffened my expression. I held in my emotions that threatened to spill over for dear life.
それともシャッフルはゆうくんがしたんだし、ディールは私がやってもいいのかしら。
I repeated my thoughts and a test run in my head. With every possibility that came to mind, I had to come up with a way to take control of this match. Hibiki, please do.
わかった。私が配るね。
With clumsy handling, Hibiki Hibiki picked up the deck and distributed the cards. My aunt and I were issued 5 cards each.
私はこのままでいいわ。
I'll trade them all. No, that's the... God damn it. I discarded my entire hand and drew new cards. My eyes didn't follow the pile of cards. They focused solely on my aunt's gaze. This woman didn't blink once. No inkling of agitation whatsoever. Part of me wondered if she even had a heart. This woman truly was a witch.
ゆうくん、約束通りこれは置いていくから。
She picked up her bag and stood up. Yes, a promise is a promise. I answered with my head hung. I couldn't up with a plan. I couldn't come up with a plan to turn the situation around. I didn't object nor protest. I couldn't oppose her in any capacity. I was left completely at her mercy.
でも勝負はまだ。
いびきちゃん、昇進のゆうくんのことお願いね。さよなら、かわいい私のおいのゆうくん。
With that parting remark, my aunt left the living room. Shit! He didn't yell that hard though, but, you know, all of the strength left my body the moment she was out the door. My head plunked down. I started to break out into a heavy sweat. It was summer, yet I had the shivers.
ちょっと大丈夫？顔真っ青よ。しっかりして、ってば。
Hibiki rubbed my back. Hibiki, sorry. Thanks for this. I'll be fine, but just give me a few minutes and try and settle down.
本当に？
Yeah, Don't have to worry. I questioned it myself. What did I mean? It'd be fine. Who was I trying to kid?
ねえ、ユウ。今の勝負、どうなったの？私何が起きたか、まるでわかんないよ。なごみさんも、ユウも、カードを開いてすらいないのに。
This is how my hand turned out. Yeah, it's shit, bro. I flipped over my cards and showed Hibiki.
6のワンペア？
Yeah. Basically a trash hand.
でも、なごみさんはもっと弱い手かもしれないじゃない。
No. She had a 5 of a kind. Hibiki turned over my aunt's hand in a fluster. Why is the Joker a cat? 4 aces and a Joker. An utterly unrivaled combination. A perfect hand.
本当だ。でも、どうして？
She figured me out and could read me like an open book. Yeah, because you're too emotional. Technically, MC being stubborn considering the aunt and mother are not the same. I had finally regained my composure. When I lifted my head, Hibiki was gazing at me with a concerned expression.
どういうこと？
What do you think? The odds are of putting together a 5 of a kind on the first draw.
1万回に1回くらい。
I mean, it's what is it? 5 to the power of 54? 52? No. It's factorial, right? Because it's 52, 50, 51, 50, 49, 48. Yeah, it's 5. It's 5 over 52 times 5 over, you know. It's 1 in 2,869,685. It didn't happen by chance.
でも、なごみさん、ほとんどカードに触ってなかったわよ。最初に頭のカードを1枚持ち上げた時と、それから半分に分けて上下を入れ替えた。
Well, yeah. The only reason she got a 5 of a kind is because you was trying to give himself 5 of a kind.
私が気づかないうちに何かしたってこと？
I'm the one who booby-trapped the deck. She stole it from me, utterly and completely. I slammed my fist against the table. Several cards scattered and fell to the floor. That woman, it wouldn't swap the top and bottom halves. That was my prediction. Since it's something she's always done. I assumed she wouldn't do it this time around. But she went and swapped them. I had countermeasures in place though. I laid traps in both the top and bottom halves. However, after that, she told you to deal the cards starting with me. Yeah.
私？
Because his plan was dealing the cards starting with her. Hibiki blinked with surprise. You remember what that woman said to you?
うん。だから私、言う通りに。
She knew.
わかってたって。
That whoever you dealt to second would be the winner. Yeah, that's why the only options you had was Hibiki dealing or her dealing. And either one would be you getting the first card.
私、なごみさんに言われるままに、言うからカードを配った。
Fact 1, Hibiki had no knowledge of magic. Fact 2, Hibiki had been looking for a way to help. Those facts combined had turned everything against me.
ごめん。私、何も疑ったりしなくて。
But like, you... See, here's the thing, right? If he really had countermeasures, he would have predicted that she would want Hibiki to deal. You know? So... It's because he was too emotional. If he had the foresight that Nogomi would want Hibiki to deal, and Hibiki would obviously deal to you first because she's closer to him. She's sitting right next to him. She's too good. He took advantage of Yu's immaturity. Let's go with that. It's not your fault, Hibiki. If I told you what order to deal the cards in, it would have been the same as admitting that I had laid a trap there in the first place. That woman had control of the situation from the start.
ごめん、私。ごめんね、ユウ。
I'm begging you, don't apologize. I couldn't get a read on her, much less deceive her. That's why I lost. She had seen my double-layered trap and taken my winning hand. She had taken full control of the playing field. That woman had read my mind perfectly. See, what he should have done is made every hand shit. Right? What he should have done is made every hand shit. And for both, and for either result to end up in a draw, right? Because no, because here's the thing, right? Technically, they would also be counting suits if it was regular poker. Unfortunately, it was a total defeat. That damn witch. I'm glad of the envelope she had left on the table. Frustrating. Unbearably vexing. It's like, here's this thing. She still win? She wins still? That's, yeah, right? She would have the better suits. If it was like, okay, both hands have one pair, it's the same cards, different suits, she would have the higher suit. If it was two paired, be the same situation. Three of a kind would not be possible. Flush, full house, straight flush, four of a kind would end in the same way. Straight would be the best case scenario, but even then, it would still be which one had the highest suit. You know? Straight is a lot more confusing, right? Because, like, if both of them had a royal straight, which suit would you count? If he tries to trick her, she would win. I mean, like, he can't get lucky. That wouldn't work. Unbearably vexing. Oh, so powerless and pathetic. She took advantage of his... Well, I already said his immaturity. Because... he tried to do everything in his power to win. Right? She used the fact that he was also a magician to win.
ユウ。
I'll show you something miraculous. I was still dancing in the palm of that woman's hand. I had been ever since that day.